We all know the Indian flag, the tricolor. It's such a powerful symbol of pride, right? But have you ever stopped to think about its real story or the specific rules for how to fly it? Well, in this guide, that's exactly what we're going to do. We'll dive into its journey, the ceremonies, and the laws every single citizen should know to honor it the right way. Okay, so let's jump right in with something that confuses a lot of people, especially around India's two biggest national holidays. Do we hoist the flag or do we unfurl it? Is it the same for Independence Day and Republic Day? I know, it sounds like a tiny detail, but believe me, the difference is huge and it's packed with meaning.
So here's the deal. It really is all about the symbolism. Think about it. On Independence Day, August 15th, the Prime Minister hoists the flag. That means it's pulled all the way up the pole. Why? Because it symbolizes the birth of a new, free nation rising up. But on Republic Day, January 26th, it's different. The flag is already tied up at the very top of the pole. The president just unfurls it, letting it open up. This signifies that the nation is already established, already sovereign, and now it's celebrating its constitution. See? Two very different actions, sending two incredibly powerful messages.
All right, so we've got the ceremonies down, but what about the flag itself? You know, the tricolor we see today didn't just appear out of nowhere. Oh no, it was a journey. It evolved over decades. So let's ask the big question. What's the real story behind this iconic design?
This timeline really lays it all out for us. The whole journey kicks off way back in 1906 with this early, unofficial flag called the Calcutta flag. Then, a huge moment happens in 1921. A designer named Pingali Venkaiah comes up with a new concept and shows it to Mahatma Gandhi. That single idea is what eventually evolves into the Swaraj flag in 1931, which you can see is getting much closer. And that sets the stage for the final version we know and love, which was officially adopted on July 22, 1947, just a few weeks before independence.
And here you can see that early evolution side by side. On the left, you've got that 1906 Calcutta flag. You can see it's got a bunch of different symbols on it, kind of religious and celestial. But then look at the big shift in 1921 with Pingali Venkaiah's design. It's not just the new colors. He introduced the spinning wheel, the charkha, and that was a huge deal. It was this powerful symbol of economic freedom and self-reliance, something Gandhi was championing.
Okay, now for the final crucial steps. By 1931, the Swaraj flag had pretty much locked in the saffron, white, and green colors we know today, still with the charkha in the middle. But then, in 1947, they made one last really important change. The spinning wheel was replaced by the Ashoka chakra. That's the 24-spoke wheel you see today. It comes from an ancient Indian artifact, and it was chosen to represent the eternal wheel of law, of dharma, and the idea of a nation always moving forward.
So now that we know the flag's history, how do we treat it? Well, displaying the flag is a right every citizen has, but it also comes with some pretty important responsibilities. And all of this is laid out in the official Flag Code of India. Now, the point of the code isn't to stop people from using the flag, not at all. It's actually to make sure that whenever the tricolor is displayed, it's always done with the dignity and respect it deserves. So, let's get into the specifics. What are the big do's? Well, for starters, the code encourages flying the flag in schools and colleges to help foster respect. And here's something really cool. A major change back in 2002 made it so that any private citizen can display the flag on any day of the year. The only catch? It has to be done with honor. And the general rule of thumb is to fly it from sunrise to sunset. And just as important as the do's are the don'ts. This list is absolutely crucial. First and foremost, the flag can never touch the ground or the water. It should never ever be flown upside down. That saffron band always has to be on top. You can't use it as a decoration, like a curtain or as part of a costume, and you definitely can't print it on things like cushions or napkins. And of course, a damaged or dirty flag should never, ever be displayed. Every single one of these rules is there for one reason, to protect the integrity of our national symbol.
You know, all this brings up a really common question I hear all the time. We see flags on cars, right? But who is actually officially allowed to fly the Indian flag on their vehicle? Can just anyone do it? Well, the short answer is nope. According to the Flag Code, that privilege is reserved for a very specific, select list of high-ranking officials. We're talking about people like the President, the Vice President, the Prime Minister, and the Chief Justice of India, just to name a few. Basically, flying the flag on a vehicle is a special honor reserved for those holding a high constitutional office. Okay, and this is where things get really serious. It's super important to understand that these rules, they're not just suggestions. The Flag Code gives us the guidelines, the how-to.
But there's also a specific law that makes disrespecting the flag a punishable offense. So we're moving from a code of conduct into the territory of actual law.
And that law is called the Prevention of Insults to National Honor Act from 1971. Its purpose is crystal clear: to legally prevent anyone from insulting national symbols like the flag and the Constitution. And this law applies to the whole of India.
So, what exactly counts as a legal offense? The law gets very, very specific here. We're talking about any public act of burning, mutilating, defacing, or trampling the flag. It also explicitly forbids using the flag on undergarments or as part of a costume worn below the waist. You'll notice a lot of the don'ts from the flag code show up again here, but this time they come with serious legal consequences.
And just how serious are those consequences? Well, anyone convicted of an offense under this act can face jail time for up to 3 years, or a fine, or even both. That really underscores just how vital protecting the dignity of the national flag is under Indian law.
So, we've covered the ceremonies, the history, the rules, and it all comes back to our role as citizens. Knowing all this stuff doesn't take away from the flag's power. It actually enhances it. It transforms the flag from just a passive symbol into this living, breathing emblem that every single one of us has the honor of protecting.
Because at the end of the day, it's so much more than just a piece of cloth, isn't it? This quote really says it all. The flag is a symbol of the pride and the aspirations of over 1.3 billion people. It's a symbol of courage, of the nation's entire journey, and of its future. And that, right there, is the key. That's what this is all about. Knowing the flag's story and knowing the rules empowers each of us to honor it correctly. We stop being just observers and we become active guardians of this incredibly important national symbol.
So, we've walked through the whole journey, from a revolutionary idea to a national emblem. We've learned the rules that protect its dignity. Now that you know the whole story, I'll leave you with this one question to think about. What does the tricolor truly mean to you?